So I practice in big law, and 10 years ago, we just celebrated our decade of my law firm, J&O. 5 years ago, I started Ami Health, which is a health and wellness newsletter community company that really focuses on doing quarterly challenges with experts, thought leaders, to stay healthy and stay accountable. And it's been my secret sauce to staying healthy in the midst of a busy life. And it's the one thing that's really worked for me. I didn't want to do anything. Like, it literally was like a dark cloud went over my life, and I did not want to decorate for Christmas. I did not want to get out of bed. If people can see that it doesn't discriminate, when you can talk about it and say, I think I'm depressed. Talk to somebody, or this helped me. Like, if that can help one person that's just not feeling like they're living, I think that's worth it.
It's like, you don't plan on being depressed for 2 years. I didn't plan on falling and being unconscious and having my child find me. You just don't plan for these things.
Yeah. It's like, I've created such a good life. I don't want to fuck anything up. I just, you can feel really depressed. You can feel really sad. I take medicine. I go to a doctor. I'll hopefully one day, but maybe not. I think that's also, I have a lot of friends that are on meds and that have gone off and on. It's like, everybody's on their own journey, and maybe I'll go off, but maybe I'll be on forever. And
and who gives a shit?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Welcome to Cake for Dinner. This is not your everyday mom podcast. We laugh, we curse, we tell the truth, and we're here to ditch the perfection culture. Rachel Johnson, welcome to the Cake for Dinner podcast.
Thank you. I'm so excited to finally be here.
Good.
In person.
I'm excited.
We met for coffee when you were just starting it.
Yes.
And you were like, come to my house. And I'm like, oh, not ready yet.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm ready.
Awesome. Well, I thought it would be good for you to introduce yourself to listeners, because you have kind of a complex title. You are a lot of things.
Yes.
So, which leads into, I really want to get to postpartum depression, but I think it's super important to explain kind of all the things you do first.
Yes. So I live here in Boca. I am a mom of 3. I have a 9-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 2-year-old. And I have a husband named Glenn. I am a lawyer, so I practice in big law. And 10 years ago, we just celebrated our decade of my law firm, J&O. Me and my co-founder started J&O 10 years ago. We have built it up to a team of 15. And we have offices here in Meisner Park and also in New York City. We represent high-growth, venture-backed startup companies as their outside general counsel, and really over the years have built a niche in that area, and have hired really great other big law attorneys that are looking for a different way to practice law. And we've built up our boutique practice. And then 5 years ago, I started Ami Health, which is a health and wellness newsletter community company that really focuses on doing quarterly challenges with experts, thought leaders, to stay healthy and stay accountable. And it's been my secret sauce to staying healthy in the midst of a busy life. And it's the one thing that's really worked for me.
So tell me how that happens. You have a big law firm, you're active in it, you're busy doing that. How do you decide that now I'm on top of being a mom, on top of being a busy attorney, I'm going to start this health company?
So it started from a text group, like all great companies. I really wanted to get healthy. And after my second baby, I had gained 50 pounds, and I always gain a lot of weight with my babies. I, eat whatever I want. I have a very big sweet tooth, and I also love all the good things in life. So I've never been that person that I crave a salad, or even now we were just in Disney, and, December has been a wash for me. I call it my off season.
Me too.
But my husband's like, oh, don't you just feel like so gross after like eating all that food and all that? I'm like, no. I'm like, I actually feel really good. Like, I like junk food. And I think that's like what has been hard for me. Like, I love Chick-fil-A. Yesterday I went to McDonald's and got a cheeseburger. Like, I know some people don't like that food, but unfortunately for me, I really do like it. And yes, it makes me feel bad if I eat it all the time, but it's on occasion. And I like have never been that person that like, I love the crunch of a salad or I just feel so good. I've had to like train myself that eating that way feels really good. But I was always working and a lawyer and sitting at my desk all day. And I could never like kind of get it into that healthy lifestyle. And so when I really had serious weight to lose, there were two options. Like when I started looking and doing my deep dive Google on how I can lose weight and get healthy. And there was Noom or Weight Watchers. And neither of those companies really like spoke my language when it came to getting healthy. I actually joined both of them. And you're like sometimes on with a one-on-one coach or this. And I was like, oh, it's like, you know what I really need is just some of my girlfriends to commit with me and do it with me, because for me, it's the accountability. And if I have people that are in it with me and like want it just as bad as me, I'll do it. Cause I love, like I have, I call it healthy FOMO. Like, I don't want you to get healthy and me not. Like, I want to feel good too. So I got a group of 6 of my girlfriends together. They all like said they wanted to be healthy. They had no clue what I was doing. They're like, what's this pyramid scheme thing Rachel's starting, asking me to join. But at the time I didn't know. And I was like, let's just all commit to working out 3 days a week.
Okay.
And making like simple, really easy meals. Because none of us were cooks. We were like delivery dudes, Uber Eats, whatever, just freestyle cooking, which we still do.
Uber Eats, freestyle cooking.
Yeah. Like, it's not like we had plans or really knew what we were doing. But we all like really got into it. And we, the first week was kind of like whatever, but then people started sending selfies of them running at 6 a.m. before their Burger King corporate meetings. And, everybody was at different stages of their lives. Not all were moms. Some were like in their residency. Some were going through a breakup. Some were just starting to get on the dating apps. We were all on our own journeys.
Right.
But it was fun. It was funny. And after 3 months, we all lost serious weight. And I lost 25 pounds. Everybody was like, what the hell are you guys doing? Like thinking we'd be like, oh, there's this $1,000 shake. And, everybody wants that one thing.
And it was literally accountability.
And it was accountability. And it was 3 days a week, which like slowly went up to 5 days a week, because once you start to feel good and you see the differences, your like motivation kind of skyrockets.
But I feel like more than just accountability, it's also like the attitude towards it.
Yeah.
It's a little bit fun. If you end up eating a ton, you probably joke about it, right?
Yep.
Get back on the horse, rather than just accountability, which you could get from Noom or Weight Watchers, which you brought up both of those. But I think they miss that personal touch and also the sort of like what you led with, like you're not going to get it perfect.
Right. Yes. And like, I also love to know what's cool and what's new and what's out there. And like, I want to know the trendy things, and I want to have Jennifer Aniston's like viral salad. So we're sharing all that stuff too, which the other companies kind of missed. Like, I want to know the new magnesium to have or this or that. Not like I'm going to do it all, but I like to know what's out there.
Right.
So we share all of that too. And so what started as a text group, people naturally started asking, what the hell are you guys doing? And, this was before the Ozempic age. This was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So now people just assume, oh, okay, she must be, shooting up. But, now, before then, it wasn't as normal. But people started asking and people wanted to do it. And I was like, there's nothing to do. Like, get some friends and do it. And I started realizing that a lot of people like didn't have that friend group.
Sure.
Or maybe they had that friend group, but it's hard to find people who are as motivated as you.
Right.
Where a lot of people say they want to do it, but 2 weeks in, they're like going on a trip to Cabo and they're like, peace out. Good luck with your little like 4-week challenge.
Right.
Which I get. Like I was like that too. And
it is hard to create that. I was trying to create a yoga, now that I've interviewed the founder of Yoga Joint, and she said, if you just go to yoga twice a week, it moves the needle. So I posted something like, who wants to go to yoga twice a week? I don't even mean with me, just like accountability. Yeah. And I got like one text back, So it's not easy to create that.
Yeah. I think you have to be in it. Like I think every challenge I do myself and I want it. It's not like it's like, I'm like, oh, another challenge. I'm like, we have Super Clean January in a couple of days and I freaking can't wait.
Right.
Because I need the accountability.
Right.
So just like Paige from Yoga Joint says, like, I'm just preach yoga because that's what works for me. And that's kind of like me. Like this is what works for me. So if I can help other people, and maybe it'll work for some people it won't. They need something different. But this, I know the simplicity of it works for me. And
so you created this.
Yeah.
And what does it look like?
So now we are on Substack.
Yeah.
So we joined Substack almost 2 years ago now. We have a community of over 2,000 on Substack. And if you are a paid subscriber, you get access to our 4 AMI challenges a year. It's either $19 a month or $199 a year. It's not thousands of dollars. And it gives you that extra accountability, even if you do just one of our challenges.
And the challenge may be, give me 2 examples.
So this one coming up is with Kristen McGee. She started the Yoga Peloton on, she started the Yoga Pilates program on Peloton. She just launched her new app. So she has created a challenge specifically for me that includes 3 strength workouts, 2 Pilates, and yoga workouts, all on her new app that she just released. And she's giving all our subscribers 2 months free of her app.
Very cool.
So we partner with people like her that maybe have a platform, want to do something, thought leaders, nutritionists, and we take their goodness and learn it. And for me, I like doing different things. I get bored. I need to switch it up. So I know some people are like, I've religiously done this every day for the past 3 years and it's worked. I need some difference. Yes.
Is it always fitness focused?
No, it's sometimes nutrition. Sometimes it's like a walking challenge, a step challenge.
Have you done the weighted
always something? Vest? We haven't done like a weighted vest specific, but people on me are always talking about the weighted vest. I know you're big on that.
Yeah, and I'm like, I dying to have somebody, I might just join.
Maybe you have to lead a weighted vest walking challenge.
Yeah, because I love the weighted vest.
Yeah.
So I thought it was important to lead with this because I really want to get into your story of postpartum depression. I feel like not just specifically to postpartum, but depression in general. I feel like so many people suffer and struggle in silence. And another misnomer is I feel like people think they have postpartum depression because of who they are, and you're just a great example of somebody who's a powerhouse in the world, who's stable, successful, and then also struggled with this tremendously difficult thing. So tell me a little bit about having kids, the pregnancy, what it looked like, and kind of how this went for you.
Yeah, so I had, with my first 2, I didn't really feel any postpartum depression. I think I've always had like low grade depression at some points of my life. I was single for a very long time before I met my husband, and I remember always being really sad about that. But I never—
Like in your 20s?
Yeah. Yeah, but I never thought it was, it was never as bad as I had with postpartum depression. With my first 2 kids, I remember being very sad about returning to work. And I, would cry on my porch about having to go back to work. And again, I am my own boss. I work at a great company, and I just knew it was normal in a sense because people did talk about it. And then it got better, and I'd get back into work and the swing of things, and it would go away. With my third baby, Isla, I took 3 months off work, which was a lot because I had my own business. My first 2 kids, I didn't take that much off work. I know 3 months isn't even that long, but we're a small firm. So it's, it's 2 to 3 months usually. And I came back to work under very stressful circumstances. We had a lot of people that were leaving and going to do something else. And I just got thrown into, I felt like, a tunnel of problems. And so it wasn't like I was coming back to this
bliss.
Peaceful, yes. Right. Yes. And a lot of times, like, my work is bliss. And I know that's hard, but I created this law firm with my co-founder because we wanted to create something different than big law. And we worked really hard to create a culture and hire people that really wanted to be there, and that created this positive, atmosphere that coming back to a lot of problems was not normal for me. And I think it just kind of escalated like what it was already a really hard time, because coming back to work is hard when you have kids.
I feel like people don't talk about just that enough. Like I remember going back, I had twins, and I had to go back to my pharmaceutical job, and staying home wasn't really an option, but going back was so hard. Having somebody else watch my kids was really hard for me. Coming home and wondering, well, when did they go to the bathroom? When did they do this? How much did they eat? Like, that was really difficult, but also just fitting into the suit, showing up and like having like milk on your shoulder, there was so much of it that was hard. And I can remember not really talking about it much.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, and especially my friends, like, we all struggle on both sides, whether we're working and have to go back to work or have made a decision to not go back to work. And I think there's a natural grieving process. Me and my one friend always talk about this, and she decided to step away from work for a while. And she said she grieved for the first year. And she didn't know if it was an identity crisis, if she made the wrong decision, or if she just didn't, she's like, I don't know if I just want to be a mom or I want to work or what I want to do. But her job was impacting her so much that she needed to leave.
I recently interviewed the founder of Tower 28 in LA, and she talked a lot about that. She said when she was working, she would often wonder what it was like to be a stay-at-home mom. Yeah. And when she did step away from work, she sort of missed, getting dressed and going and being around your colleagues. And I think part of it is that we don't allow ourselves to just feel however we feel. Yeah. Right? Both are fine.
Right. And you can daydream about it. I think it's okay to daydream. Sometimes I'm like, oh, if I didn't work, would it be awesome? Yeah. And, not having to answer emails or be in my Zoom call vortex. And, wouldn't it be great? And, the grass is always greener. And it's okay to think those things. But I think I always come back to, I know I'm very ambitious as a person. And I know working for me, and especially the work I'm doing now, feels really good. Right. And I think I have been through periods where it didn't feel good. And even having your own company, sometimes it doesn't feel good what you're doing, whether you have the wrong team, whether you're working with people that are really, not aligned, whether you have hard clients. Even if you build your dream thing, there's periods where you're like, do I even want this?
Yeah, I think that's another thing, actually. The founder of Tower 28 said, Amy Lou, she said, so important to be connected to your why as a founder, because as a founder, there are so many times that are difficult, especially as you're growing and you're building.
Yeah. And if you have a team,
Sure.
right? You're dealing with 15 different personalities.
Right.
You know, people aren't always happy and people go through their own things. Just like me as a leader, I think that was also something that I had to go through is as a leader,
Sure.
having my team know that I was depressed was really hard. And
makes sense.
yeah, I think now looking back, it has definitely made me a different type of leader.
In what way?
I think the compassion and the humanity of it makes people see that, you know, she's one of us. Because I think a lot of people put founders on a pedestal and think, you know, she's just built different than me. Like, that's not me. You know, I don't have the hustle. I don't have the grit. And I think when you get knocked down so hard, like me, I couldn't get out of bed. I was that depressed. And I had, you know, my sister coming over and making my kids lunches. That was only 2 days, but it was like to see me, even for me to see myself in that state was just like eye-opening because it was chemical. I couldn't do anything about it. Like as much as I tried.
Did it make you more compassionate?
I think it made everybody at the firm more compassionate because I think nobody's perfect. And I think we can all nitpick on other people. And I always say the true like superstars are people that aren't finding the fault in everyone, but more like even the superstars that I've seen come through our company, even that aren't with us anymore, were always the ones that were like, she's awesome. She's doing great. She's this. I think that everybody has their faults, but when you can see that everybody at the end is human and working for the same goal and, you know, we all have struggles.
I always think that that's kind of the silver lining to depression, you know, and like you said, getting knocked down. I've been knocked down pretty hard myself and never fun, right? But like we gain so much from those experiences. And when you can use that to be helpful in the world, whether that just be as a mom with your girlfriends, or in my case, in my profession, I don't know, looking back, it feels a little worth it, you know?
Yeah.
So take me back to the pregnancy with Isla and when did you start to feel that it was different, this deep depression?
It was in October and I had her in March. So it was 6 months after, which was also like, I remember in my maternity leave when I was home, I was kind of in this bliss. I always wanted 3 kids. I finally had my little girl. I really wanted her to be a girl. And we like didn't find out the sex. It was a surprise and she was a girl. And I was just like over the moon. I remember just being so happy. And then when I got back into my everyday of going back to work and dealing with a lot of problems, I started feeling like I don't like this life. And I think that was scary.
So for the 6 months that you were home, you felt okay.
Yeah.
Which I think is another thing that people don't understand about postpartum is that it can happen even up to a year after.
Yeah.
So people think, you know, it's something that happens right away. At least that's what I thought, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that's important to point out.
Yeah.
So 6 months later, you go back to work, or 3 months later?
Yeah, 3 months later, I go back to work. After a few months back at work, I really just started like spiraling and I didn't want to do anything. When I'm good and like on my game, I'm really good. Like I think I have a zest for life. Like I want to travel. I want to throw parties. I want to do all the little cutesy things for my kids. Like I just love doing all the things. And I didn't want to do anything. Like it literally was like a dark cloud went over my life and I did not want to decorate for Christmas. I did not want to get out of bed. I just wanted to wallow.
Which is really why I wanted to start the way we started the podcast, talking about all the things you do, because it really shapes your story, because you are a person who wants to do all of that, right? And then to go to a place where you're so dark and so depressed that you don't like your life, that you don't want to get out of bed, that's low.
Yeah.
And how intrusive were your thoughts?
I didn't want to hurt my kids. I know that comes out with postpartum. I was just despair. It was utter despair. And my husband was so baffled because it just wasn't me.
Right.
It was like this, like somebody took me.
Were you able to communicate how you felt to him?
I did. And I think that is one of my things, is that I do talk about it. Like part of me is calling all of my friends and telling them I'm depressed. And it makes me feel better to get it out there, where I know I don't want to do anything with them. I don't want to see them, but I can call them and tell them I'm depressed. Whereas some people, I think they just shut down.
Right, I was going to say, but that's a great thing.
Yes.
That could have been your saving grace.
Yes. And I think that idea of like if I tell people, it'll like get it out of me. So I would like make the rounds.
A good strategy.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. I would make the rounds. I'd call my friends. I would tell them how I'm feeling. And people, when you're low, people really know how to rally for you. And they always say that, like, people get a little weird with success and they don't come to you. And, you can see that if you have success, people kind of like, I don't know how to handle that. They push away.
Confident and gregarious. I don't think that you don't present as somebody who needs a lot.
Yeah.
So I think probably when you're super vulnerable and presenting very differently, people know what to do then.
Exactly. They all come around. I'm like, oh, this is so nice. My friends would have like sad days for me. And they would come and just like have a sad day with me. And it was really, I think it gave me a lot of value in friendship and having my people that know I went through that so badly that the success is even sweeter.
Sure.
Because of that. And especially now, and it's been 2.5 years since, let's see, it was October 2023. So in October, it would have been 2 years. Then like it's really, and it was a roller coaster where I would like feel good and I went on meds and I would I was feeling good, maybe go off the meds, and then I wasn't feeling good. I'd go off the meds. So it was kind of a roller coaster. I found a sweet spot.
Okay.
But I think it's, that in of itself is really fucked up because that medicine can make you feel different. And it sometimes gets worse before it gets better, especially for me.
Yep.
And it would take, 6 weeks for like whatever new thing we were trying to work. And that was really hard because I, as somebody who wants to fix things, I'm like, oh, not working. Let's switch to something else. But you got to be patient.
Yes. What do you think? What are the things that started to turn the tide?
Well, it was medicine. It was therapy. I have a great therapist here that I had before, but she, I was kind of good.
Sure.
And I think, my sister was like, you need to keep your therapy going all the time. And I think for me, that's true. Like, even if it's once a month, but just having that all the time.
And did it start to slowly change, or were there some big aha moments?
There were ups and downs. I remember, I think I saw you when me and a couple of my friends, my best friends, were going on a yacht vacation.
Yes.
Like a weekend yacht away. And I was so depressed on this yacht with 5 of my best friends. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me? And
well, that just goes to show you can have all the shit in the world.
Yes.
But if you're not right inside, none of that matters.
Yeah.
I think I right before I got sober, I won a trip for work, and we went to the Four Seasons in Maui. I won this trip.
Yeah.
It was like so great. I was 27 years old. I mean, anybody would have been so happy to go. I'll never forget, I was the most unhappy I've ever been in my life on the bathroom floor of that Four Seasons, on a marble floor, the most beautiful room I'd ever been in. And none of that shit mattered in that moment.
Yeah. I read something recently. If you're not going to be happy with a good cup of coffee, you're not going to be happy on a yacht. And I was like, I don't know, but
you're like, somebody should have told me that shit before I went.
No, but I just bought a latte from Starbucks. But no, it's inner peace to me now. And I think I've always chased success to a degree, but even more, I've always chased like meaning and purpose. And I think what has helped me heal is, in addition to the meds, is I am doing work I love, and I am kind of, my word for 2026 is harmony. Like, I'm not looking for more. And I think that is the most amazing place to be, where you are just content.
Yes.
And I wanted 3 kids. So when I had 2 or 1, I was like, I needed the 3rd. I, wanted a house, and I wanted this and I wanted that. And like, to not want for anything.
Well, also in the wanting, you can get stuck in the trap that you think, when I get this, I will be happy.
Yes.
Which is a pretty dangerous spot to get. And if you are a doer like you are, eventually you get all that shit, and then you're stuck with, well, why aren't I happy?
Yeah. And I think it's hard to not want more.
Sure.
Right? Because I think people that have experienced success, it's easy to be like, okay, well, now I want a private plane. I want my own boat. I want this. I want that. It's like, I don't want any of that shit. I want to be able to be at my house with my kids that I've created, my dream house, my dream bubble, with my businesses that I love, with the teams that I love working with, and not want for more. And so it's like protecting that.
Sure.
And reminding yourself of that.
That shit is hard earned, right?
Yep.
Like, even the idea of that is hard earned.
Yep.
Sometimes you have to get it all and not be happy to know, where the real value lies.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think some of the most happy, present people have gone through really hard shit.
Yeah.
So what do you feel like you've taken the most out of it? Like, if there was a silver lining for you, what do you feel like it is?
I think it's not to take happiness for granted. Before, I thought everybody's just always happy. That's all life is. And I think feeling good is, and it goes to me, I talk about this, like, wellness is a feeling more than anything. And if you don't feel good inside, when I was depressed, I was the skinniest I had ever been. And I felt horrible. And people would be like, Rachel, you look freaking amazing. And I'm like, I feel like absolute shit. I want to lay in bed all day. I never want to feel like that. So wellness is a feeling of feeling good mentally more than anything. And yes, like, I am vain. I like to look good. I like to be dressed up. I like want to feel good in a bathing suit. But none of that shit matters if you don't feel good inside.
Yeah.
And I
it's
think
worth
that
nothing.
it does not matter. So I think it's very hard. If you don't experience depression or like struggles like that, it's very hard to see it that way. And I think now I'm like, I just really value happiness and doing the things that light me up, like having parties and even like shopping. Like, I didn't want to go shopping. I didn't want to go to dinner with friends. Like, to want to do that stuff is so lucky. Yes. Because your mind can play games on you where it convinces yourself you don't want to do those things. And that's not a life I want to live.
Are you scared of depression now?
Yes. Like, especially because there have been so many waves over these past few years that I think I take like every day I'm so happy when I wake up happy.
But do you like wake up and take your temperature?
No, like I have a pretty good routine. I think I know, and my husband knows when it hits me, and a couple friends know. They're like, they can feel it, their spidey sense.
Do you feel it coming on?
No,
Or
and
just
you know,
kind of-
like as a woman, you get your period,
Sure.
and that week
Well,
before,
I do not anymore. Thank you so much, Rachel.
But some of us do.
Yes.
And like that week before and I'm always like, is it back or is it like PMS? Because I did have really bad PMS before this. And I don't know. It could hit me again. And I don't think I'm in the clear, if that makes sense. I think if it was a 3-month thing, but the fact that it was on and off for 2 years has made me much more aware that it could come back. And I think always coming back to it is temporary. And I'm hoping that with the right meds, it doesn't come back, but you never know.
Do you do anything, like you said, you have a good routine? Like, is the routine directed towards sort of bending off the depression, staying present, staying happy? Like, what is the routine?
Yeah, I think I know the things that make me happy. And before I was depressed, I always focused on that. I'm like, you have to prioritize the things that give you joy or life will suck you up and you won't get to do any of it, right? You have to plan the trips. You have to get together with friends. And I'm definitely that person. Like I'm the person in our friend group that will get everybody together, and I'm the person that will plan the trip, and I will host a party, and I will do this because I want my life to be filled with that stuff. And I think it's very easy to not do that stuff. And I think just prioritizing it in general is easy, but it becomes impossible when you're depressed. Like when you're depressed, you can't even, like the ordering from Amazon, the sending one email, it just didn't work.
Yes.
So now, like, I just know when I'm good. I'm emailing, I'm talking to the team, I'm on calls, I'm, picking up the kids, doing all the kids stuff. I'm planning. I think future planning is like such a huge sign.
Yes. One of the things that we talk a lot about on this podcast is, as women, we wear so many hats, right? I mean, you wear many, you own a business, we do all these things, but yet alongside that, we're a mother running alongside whatever it is we do for work or whatever we do in a day. Tell me about being a mom while being depressed.
Yes. So that was hard. I have an amazing nanny that has been with us for over 5 years. She is my guardian angel. And she just wanted to take care of me. And like, oh my gosh, like Rachel. Because again, she only saw me like going to work, zipping around, doing this. So I think it shook everybody up in my life that I was like that. But I have my husband, who does a lot. Like he cooks. I call him Danny Tanner because he's a clean freak. He cleans. He like runs everything. I think Paige discussed at Yoga Joint, like if her husband like somehow wasn't here tomorrow, she'd be like, how do I work the remote? Like, what do I do?
Yes.
We both, like, I'm very on top of finances and what we have and what money's coming in, what money's going out. But he makes sure everybody is paid.
Sure.
He is making sure our savings are in line, our investments are, when you have businesses, and he runs his own business too, we are running, a corporation within our family itself of people we're paying. I outsource a ton. I have people, meal prep women I find that come and help me meal prep for the week. I outsource a lot of the things so that I can focus on the things that I love. And I know that is a privilege, and it hasn't always been that way. But once I hit a certain like level of success, I have no shame in doing things that
I don't either.
make my life freaking better.
Yeah. Because it depends on where you, like, I've never wanted to have a ton of care for my kids. Like, I like to drive them and I like to do that stuff. But as I have come into more success, I am fine having somebody do my laundry, for example.
Yeah.
You know, so I think it matters, you know, what's a priority, right? And another thing, a lot of the founders, and I have spoken about, is the value in choosing a good partner. You know, and it's funny because when you're younger, you pick somebody. I picked my husband. I was a single mom, and I picked him because he was handsome and he was super sweet. That was the end. You know, I had no idea he was going to show up to be this amazing dad and provider and spouse. But I think even more than that, when you go through something really dark, you know, mine's a small example, but I fell and, had to get stitches and I was unconscious and all this stuff. And the way he walked me through that and the way he walked our family through that, it's like, you don't even know you're signing up for that shit. So your husband walking.
No, Glenn definitely didn't know this. Like, Glenn
and
had
you
no
didn't know
clue.
he was going to show up that way.
He's always been I knew. I think that was one thing that when, again, I was single for so long. I was the only like single one of my friends. Till, I mean, probably not like 30s. I was 25 when I met him, but I hadn't had a boyfriend before. Like, no serious real boyfriends before, like little, like 6 months, whatever. But he was my first real boyfriend. And I remember thinking, this guy knows how to take care of somebody. Like, he really did. And I knew that going into it. And I would listen to these women on panels and leadership panels. And I was like, why isn't anybody talking about their significant other? Like, nobody would mention their significant other. And I was like, that is such an important piece of my.
It's so important, but also I knew my husband was sweet and, probably knew how to take care of somebody, but what you don't account for is what could happen to you in your life. Yeah. Right? Because like, you don't plan on being depressed for 2 years. I didn't plan on falling and being unconscious and having my child find me. You just don't plan for these things. Yeah. And when you face life and your partner shows up for you, I just think it builds such a foundation for a lasting marriage. Yeah.
I remember I always think about this because in a wedding speech, I think his brother said something like, you found a diamond in a rough, like this lawyer, she's successful. I'm like, shit, if he only known he had like chronic depression coming up his like kind of road. But I think it tests you. I think he is so grateful for my happiness now that he's always, any inkling, he's like, are you okay? Are you good? Like, sometimes to a fault where I'm like, all right, I'm still going to have bad days. I'm human. Like, it's not, one bad day and me being quiet and wanting to lay in bed. Like, first of all, I like doing that. So,
but he's
like,
probably,
he's scarred from it. If I'm like laying in bed for 3 hours watching Real Housewives, he's like, oh no. I'm like, no, I just freaking like, I'm having a day where I just want to veg.
Yes. So do you prepare him for that kind of like, hey?
No, I mean, I think it's been months since I've felt depressed.
So the last time was on the boat.
So yes. And then I was going to come to your podcast and I was like, I can't talk about this shit when I'm freaking depressed. So I had to kind of wait. Yes. And then I reached back out.
I will say, from the time we met in Starbucks, or what was it?
Subculture.
Subculture. To now, you look so different. Your eyes, like, you're so much brighter and more. Yeah. I mean, I've only met you twice, so I only have 2 to go on. Yeah. But now that you say that you are struggling a little bit, then it makes so much sense to me. Yeah. Did anything trigger it? Does anything trigger it? Like, are you able to go back and identify that, or it just sort of comes on?
I think any stressful situation triggers it. But I'm a founder and I deal with stressful situations all the time.
Sure.
So it's not like one little thing or one, I think it's compounding.
Right.
I think it's stressful situations compounding is what triggers it. And I think now I hopefully, like, over time have tools to not get to that low of place, and knowing that it's not going to last forever. And like whatever feeling I feel now is not going to be the feeling I feel in a week or 2 weeks, and knowing that it will pass.
Do you tell yourself that?
Yes.
So when you're on the boat and you feel it coming on, you feel low, what are the things, how do you talk yourself through it?
Well, that I was just like, oh shit. And my friends all knew because I was just like not swimming with everybody. I was super quiet.
Right, because you're just going in. You're just
like,
in it.
Yes.
You're just battling.
Yeah. And then my best friend Lerner always says, stay the course, Rachie Bear, just stay the course. And I always think about
I don't know why that makes me so like.
And I like always think, I'm like, just stay the course. Like just stay, you're going to get through it. You're going to get through it. Just stay the course. And
I say that. I say keep your eye on the prize.
Yeah, just stay the course. Like I've created such a good life. I don't want to fuck anything up. I just, you can feel really depressed. You can feel really sad, but I take medicine. I go to a doctor. I'll like hopefully one day, but maybe not. Like I think that's also, I have a lot of friends that are on meds and that have gone off and on. And it's like everybody's on their own journey, and maybe I'll go off, but maybe I'll be on forever. And
and who gives a shit?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
That's in my field. So we own a mental health facility. And it's so common that when people get to a place where they start to feel better, that they want to go off the medication. Yeah. I always say, why? Like if you get to the place where you're doing well.
Oh, I did that. Yeah. That was where I was. Like, yeah. I was like, I'm good. Take me off.
Yeah. Yeah. I always encourage people to write down kind of how they feel before they go off, why they want to go off, and then start to write down how they feel, but also maybe their spouse or somebody, have them write down how they think they're feeling. Typically, it's a big contrast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're doing well now.
Yeah.
Which is the most important.
I know.
And then does it give you confidence knowing that you got through that? So if you do start feeling it like you did on the boat, you've gone all the way through it once.
Yes.
Right? So
yes. No, I think now I've been through it multiple times.
Right. Because part of the darkness in the beginning is that you may never come out of it.
100%.
And I think once you've touched down with coming out of it once or twice or 3 times, when you start to go in it, you go, okay, I've been down this road. I know what gets me out.
Yes. Whenever it hits, I always think, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to be forever. This is going to be forever. And it's never forever.
Right.
It's never forever. And that every little like blip has taught me more and more on that. Mm-hmm. And I think even like people in my life, my husband is able to say, Rachel, this is not forever. This is not, you're going through it right now, but it's not forever.
Yes.
And
the more experience you have with getting out of it.
Yeah.
Even the woman I interviewed earlier, Dr. Rachel Goldman, she talks a lot about CBT and a lot about like reviewing the facts. Has it ever been forever?
Yeah.
Have you ever stayed in it forever?
Yeah.
She talks a lot about that and thought stopping and replacing your thoughts. Yeah. And you should get her book called When Life Happens.
Okay.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Especially when life happens to you, right?
Yes. Yes. And I think like for this, I know we debated and you're like, Rachel, I really want to make your like depression the like focus of this episode. I'm like, oh gosh. But I agree. I think if people can see that it doesn't discriminate.
Yes.
And it is open and we talk about it. I think people in my family have had depression, and in the, past, it was, you tough it out and you have a cocktail and you drink and maybe you become an alcoholic and maybe you're numbing yourself in some way. And now when you can talk about it and say, I think I'm depressed. And somebody's like, oh, well, you should, see my doctor, or you should talk to somebody, or this helped me. Like if that can help one person that's just not feeling like they're living, I think that's worth it.
Yeah, because coming on and talking about your law firm or AMI, all of those things are great, and you're beautiful and you're successful and you're married and you have kids. All that stuff is wonderful, but my purpose in this podcast is to provide a way out for people in a variety of different situations. And at the very least, to feel seen and heard in their world, in
Yeah.
their life. And I think a lot of women struggle with depression.
Yeah,
I
it's
really
funny.
do.
I'm laughing because my dad, I called him early this morning and I told him I was going on your podcast. I sent him Paige's podcast and I was like, yeah, I'm going to go, but like the focus is going to be on my postpartum depression. He's like, oh yeah, well, that's one of your things now you talk about. He's like, that's one of your topics now. I was like,
and maybe at the end of the day, your most important one.
I know. It's true.
And
it's true.
also, who wants to go through that shit and crawl your way out of it?
I know,
and then
not
do nothing with it at the end.
Totally.
Like,
yes, I agree.
I've been down. Trust me, I've been down really far. And when I crawl my way out of that shit, I want it to be of use.
Yeah.
Let me at least make this mean something.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really in large part why I wrote my book, because some of that shit was so hard that like I need it to make sense, you know, otherwise why?
Yes.
You know, so maybe you'll start speaking on big stages about this, or, you know, hopefully this podcast will help a few people that are struggling in silence, because not everyone has the gift of talking like you had. And so that is my hope. So if people want to find you, for your law firm, for Ami, or to talk about this, how could they find you?
Yes. So for Instagram, it's Ami Health, AHMI.health. And that you can DM me. I do their Instagram. So, you know, that's all me. And then LinkedIn as well. And my law firm's LinkedIn too. Just message me. But yes, I am always happy to talk to somebody, especially somebody that's like silently struggling and don't know why, and, you know, are just spiraling in their own thoughts, because it really can happen to anyone.
Well, thank you so much for coming. We will link everything in the show notes. And if you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe to Cake for Dinner. And thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Of course.